Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at the sources around GettTumpWatches.com. You've probably seen the ads online. Very flashy, patriotic, selling this President Trump's red beauty watch. So our mission here is simple. Quickly unpack the reports we've got and see if this site, with all its, well, bold marketing, is actually trustworthy.
Yeah, and you have to start with those visuals, right? The website looks, really professional. Sleek photos, clear branding, looks high quality, especially for that red watch they push so hard. But, sources point out pretty fast that looks can be deceiving. Sometimes they're the main tool.
Right, that mix of like patriotism and really aggressive sales talk. That seems key. The sources suggest it's almost misdirection. So how quickly do things start to unravel when you look past the shiny product shots?
Almost immediately. And it really centers on transparency or, well, the lack of it. They use a .com address, which, feels global, trustworthy. Sophisticated actors often do that.
Okay.
But then there's almost zero info about who actually runs the site.
Like basic stuff?
Yeah, basic stuff. You look for a proper business address, right? A customer service number that works, a real email. The source material suggests none of that is clearly there or verifiable. Big gaps.
Okay, and you mentioned the tactics. The sources really focus on the language, too. Phrases like fight, 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 these very emotional tags.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of normal, though, for political merch? All that hype?
Well, yes and no. It becomes a red flag here because the hype seems to be replacing actual information. When a site puts like 99% of its energy into that emotional pitch,
Right.
it often means the fundamentals are missing. Look at the product pages themselves. Crucial details aren't there.
What kind of details are we talking about?
Basic things you need. What are the watches actually made of? Is there a warranty? Where are they manufactured? Nothing specific.
So it's not just about, say, bad customer service later. It's about not even knowing what you're buying up front. If they don't list materials, you can't tell if it's stainless steel or like cheap plastic painted red.
Yeah.
You can't judge the value against the price.
Exactly. And no manufacturing details means you can't assess that price to value thing at all, which is vital if something's marketed as, special or collectible. And this ties into the customer feedback issue too, or the lack of credible feedback.
Ah, okay. So what do we know about the customer experience if someone actually orders? Does the hype match reality?
Well, finding trusted reviews, ones not just on their own site, is hard, very scarce. The feedback that is out there, generally pretty disappointing.
Oh.
Yeah, some people report getting a product eventually, so something shows up, but the quality is often described as, well, unimpressive. And big complaints about shipping times, like weeks, even months.
Months, yeah.
And customer support, pretty much non-existent or totally unresponsive if there's a problem. So our conclusion, based on the sources, it's kind of nuanced. Hard to call it a complete scam because sometimes, a watch arrives. But the concerns about authenticity, huge. Plus the weird business practices and that massive lack of transparency, it definitely puts it in the high-risk zone for anyone buying.
Okay, so boiling this down for you, the listener, if you're tempted by these slick, niche online stores, what's the takeaway? We've got this really professional look on one side, but then these really questionable, murky business practices underneath.
Yeah, the strongest advice really is be extremely careful. Given the, frankly, serious lack of transparency about who owns it, who you're dealing with, and the basically non-existent support, if you still decide to buy, definitely use a secure payment method, something with strong buyer protection.
Like a credit card, maybe?
Exactly, a credit card, or maybe a payment service known for good dispute resolution. Give yourself some backup.
Right. And maybe a final thought here for you to consider. When professional marketing and really slick design can so effectively hide a lack of actual substance, how do you, the consumer, check if something's authentic? How do you know the real value when all you've got is the hype? Something to think about next time you're browsing online. That's all for this deep dive.